Hello guys, Ert here, and today I'm showing off my reaction to the shelf that Mojang is adding to Minecraft. So, in the latest beta, Mojang released a shelf block, and it allows you to swap items from your hotbar into your main inventory. Into the shelf's inventory, I'm sorry. So, how the vanilla shelf works currently is why is it so laggy? If I were to click one of these slots, let's say I clicked this slot, and if I were to click another slot, let's say this one, this shelf goes from, goes from the 7th to the 9th slot. So if I were to click this one, then that slot would switch, and then I can click this one. If I were to turn this on with the redstone signal, what would then happen is all three slots would be replaced at the same time. So now that everything is switched, I will show you what I think the new interpretation of the shelf should be. First off, you'll notice I have a bunch of comparators here, and the reason why is because I thought it would be nice for comparators to be the first block to give a different comparator signal, well, a different redstone signal from different directions of the block. So, say, well known here we have this amount of swords. In actual terms, if my game cooperates, what would be happening is this left slot would give a comparator signal from this side depending on how many items are in this slot. The middle slot gives a signal from the front depending on how many items are in it. Then the right slot gives a signal from the right. And then now I will show you what I think these should do. So I've seen, okay, come on. Okay, so I have seen a lot of players, well, people in YouTube comments suggesting that the shelves should replace items depending on what slot you're in. So right now I'm in the second slot, and by the way, this counts as one shelf block, the next two count as another shelf, and then the other three count as the third shelf. So what some people think should happen is this. I have this slot selected, so if I click this shelf, the items should go into this slot. Well, should be swapped with this slot. Now, I do kind of see the application in this, and I do agree this should maybe be the default, but I also see reasons to do this in other ways. So here's what I propose. Let me swap this back real quick. Now, what if I want to swap a specific slot? So I'm clicking with the second hotbar slot again, at least I'm simulating it. And now I want to swap, say, oh, I don't know, the second, third, and fourth slots. That's easy, assuming these shelves are all separated. I can do that, and now that those parts are swapped. What I might want to do is only swap, say, well, make this specific one only swap the 7th slot. So, there we go. And then I can swap this. Wait, the 7th slot, I'm sorry. And now what if I wanted to make all of these be connected, but, oh, 1, 2, okay. But only certain ones of these would actually do something. So the number of snow layers under each slot shows what slot will be replaced. So this is the default that Mojang provided for powered and connected shelves. So if I were to right-click this powered and connected shelf, it would immediately swap everything in my hotbar at once. So let me just simulate that real quick. And now, let's say I don't want to swap one of these slots. So say I want to keep this jungle log, but not the button. Well, wanted to keep the jungle log, but swap everything else. Well, I probably wouldn't. Well, there you go. There's what I would do. And now if I swap, now if I simulate another right click, only these 8 slots get changed. So now, what else could you do with this? Let's say I wanted to swap the 9th slot, but not swap these other 2. So, if I simulate another right click, what would happen is these would swap into the respective slots, and these would stay normal, unless I right-clicked that specific slot on the shelf, and then this would swap with whatever slot I clicked it with, which in this case would be the 2nd slot. So how would this work with the real shelf block? So what I would expect, oh my goodness, the lag. Why is it so laggy? So what I would expect is, so if you were to right click, you would store the block. If you were to shift right click, you change the way that specific slot of the drawer acts. So if I were to go back over here, right clicking would store, or in other cases swap, and then shift right clicking, if it will cooperate, shift right clicking would change the state. So let me right click this again. And now I want to make this go to, say, specifically slot 4. So I would click this 4 times to make it go to slot 4. And now if I swap, you'll see that my fourth slot has also been switched. Ignore the third slot. Yeah, so that's how I think shelves would work. So I hope that all made sense. I don't think I made much sense in this video, but if you liked the video or if you want to see these changes added in, like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment. Although I should probably mention before I go how these states would be shown, because obviously these shelves aren't item frames and you don't want to rotate the items. What I would most likely do is the shelves have a certain section on them where they would be, where a certain part of the text would change. Now, of course, I don't expect Mojang to actually do that, but if they were to do that, it would be nice to be able to see which slot certain things were going in. So, like, say I wanted this to go into the fourth slot, well, the third slot in this case, and I want that to go into the, I think that's the seventh slot. Oh, it's a sixth slot, but yeah, I want that to go into the sixth slot. Then I want this to not swap unless selected. That would kind of be what I'd want for this. And of course, let's say you wanted this just default swap. So you want this to swap into the hand you're using. Well, you have selected. You want this to specifically swap into the third slot, and you want this to only swap when selected. So basically there's a lot of things you can do with this. So something that I forgot to mention is I've also seen comments that would like entire inventory swapping features, and that would be completely awesome. I fully agree with that, but of course there's something else you might want to consider, like say I don't want to swap these snow layers, but I do want to swap all of the other slots in my main inventory, plus the entire hotbar. Well, luckily that is possible with a few extra block states. Anyways, yeah, so thanks for watching, thanks for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!